Yo guys, in this video we are gonna take a closer look at a poison build centered around the newly added Ash of War. The poison flower blooms twice. Sit back, relax, and take a break from getting farmed by our dear promised consort. Let's break down the basics of the build. You obviously need the Ash of War, which you can find here, and put it on an infusible weapon of your choice. The best option in my opinion is the venomous Fangclaw. The reason is simple. It has native poison buildup and fast attacks, which make it very easy to apply poison consistently. The native poison makes it possible to infuse it with a cult, which gives you even more buildup and good scaling with arcane. But the venomous Fang comes with one major drawback: the extremely short attack range. You basically have to be on the boss 24/7 and you will sometimes miss point-blank attacks. For some bosses, I swapped to backhand blades since they are more convenient to use, but have less poison buildup in exchange. I also used poison-infused Blood Fiend's arm, which was also interesting, because you poison in 2 hits with good stance damage. And yes, a riposte is 2 hits, which means if you riposte with a colossal weapon like Blood Fiend's arm, you will get a guaranteed poison proc on non-resistant bosses. You can use the Ash of War directly after the riposte, which is pretty fun to do. When it comes to stats, I chose 55 Vigor, 25 Endurance, and the rest into Arcane. In this sheet, I have 18 Stret and 13 Dex to swap to backhand blades or Blood Fiend's arm when I feel like it. The 25 Faith are for Golden Vow and Flame grant me strength. If you don't plan on using other weapons, you can go up to 60 Vigor, maybe some Mind, and dump the rest into Arcane for more poison buildup and base damage. For armor, we want to use Mushroom Crown, Rakshasa Gauntlets, and the Drip Ruiner Divine Bird Warrior Greaves. You wear these legs because they boost kick damage, which our Ash of War does. For talismans, we want to use Shard of Alexander, Shattered Stone Talisman, Kindred of Rot's Exaltation, and a defense talisman of your choice. If you don't want defense, you can also put something like Rotten Wind Sword Insignia. In our offhand, we want to use a seal for basic buffing and a poisoned hand. You don't have to upgrade it. It works like the Mushroom Head. When you proc poison, you get a damage buff as long as you have it equipped. For my physic, I almost always run Winged Crystal Tear because Light Roll is extremely strong, and the newly added Deflecting Hardtier, which allows you to perfect block with any weapon to do massive guard counters. It's purely for fun. Use what you want. Let's take a closer look at the Ash of War itself. Basically, it does one major kick which consumes rot or poison and a shockwave afterwards. The Ash of War itself also does good base damage, and the shockwave even has Scarlet Rot buildup. Which means you can just spam the Ash of War to apply rot, so you can consume it with the Ash of War to do huge damage. Let's assume someone is stupid enough to go into a boss fight to literally just kick him to death. Well, that would be possible. Now for some combat showcase. I did a DLC run with no Shadow Tree Blessing upgrades to stress test the build and see what it has to offer. Even with no upgrades, the damage was solid. The concept is extremely simple. You hit until poison proc. All your buffs like the Mushroom Head, the Poison Hand, and your insignia give you massive damage boosts, and you look for a good window to use the Ash of War to do big damage. The only problematic thing about this build is that the animation is quite long, so even if you try to use it in a normal punish window, you might trade with the boss. Luckily, this skill has good hyper armor, so it's not too bad. I'll stop yapping for the rest of the combat showcase. See you in the final conclusion section. final conclusion. This build is very unique and fun to play. It is also pretty strong without being flat out broken. It's more of a glass cannon style with high risk reward. You need to be aggressive to build poison and know openings to use the skill. If you guys know any fun builds for the DLC, let me know in the comments. I'm down to try some more, and leave a like if you like the format. See you in the next one, boys. Peace.